Hey guys, it's Mountain Walk, and today I'm going to be talking about just a bunch of random stuff that I wanted to talk about. Mostly just things I wasn't sure if I even really wanted to make a whole video on or blah 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 blah. Um, but there's some okay stuff, and there's some really dumb stuff, and then there's some funny stuff, and there's just a bunch of stuff. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. So, all right, today we're going to be talking about, first and foremost, going to be talking about Time Spiral Remastered. Wow, what a sweet set. Um, Obviously, just because they didn't include Sprout Swarm at all, it's probably a much more improved draft experience. Yeah, Sprout Swarm was very strange card to have at common. It was cool, like, oh man, buyback, and then you can convoke it, and obviously they work together the way that you think they do. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm making all these saprolings. Dude, I love saprolings. So you're making all these saprolings, and it's like if you have even just like one or two creatures on board, like the thing just grows out of hand. Was it geometrically? Geometrically, yeah, something like that. So yeah, definitely a good draft experience. Lots of cool cards. You know, got a lot of good reprints, from Time Spiral, so that's nice. And of course, the time shifted sheet this time has 121 cards that were only available in new border. Now they are in old border. So this is wonderful. I bought a couple packs. I got some random stuff, and it's mostly just it's just kind of random cards, but I think almost every single card on the time shifted sheet is playable somewhere, right? Like, so you could say Cube, Modern, Legacy, Commander, of course, etc. So that's really sweet. That's really cool. I liked it a lot. I only bought a few packs, but like the best one was I got a Ponder as my time shifted card, and then I got a foil Evolutionary Leap, which is quite good. That's quite good. I'm like, this card is this is sweet, you know. So um, I'm definitely into it. Definitely pretty happy about it. It was definitely a good set. Obviously, the only bad thing about the time shifted stuff is the cards themselves are well, obviously they're using the new, you know, sort of card stock, which is obviously a negative, but the allotment of the set doesn't look like there's going to be more than a single print run. So we'll have to see. Hopefully more comes out, but even just today, as I'm recording this, like a lot of the prices on most of the cards are like not that expensive, like just a couple bucks a piece. Especially for something that's I think a lot of people's opinions, you know, just aesthetically better, right? The old borders just look better. I mean, really, for example, like look at the old border Kiki Jiki. I mean, just it looks like it should have been an old border. It looks so much better, you know, and that's really like the first few years of cards are definitely because like maybe the artists are used to obviously working in the older borders, you know, so they take that into account. Just different artists, different styles and stuff they had back in the day versus now. So yeah, the stuff from Mirrodin, stuff from Mirrodin Champions, Ravnica, and even Time Spiral itself, like a lot of those cards just look um, or no, I don't think there's any old border time spiral stuff. But at least for the first couple sets, it looks quite good. I mean, even like look at the Thought Seeds. That's like it looks great. I mean, it's perfect. It looks beautiful in the old border. I mean, I just love it. And most of them, I don't think it's like 30, 40 bucks is like the most expensive, right, for most of these cards. Obviously not talking about the foils, but a lot of really good cards. I mean, gosh, I mean, look at that old border Chalice the Void. That thing is just looks good. That's definitely good. Pretty nice, pretty expensive. It still is like 30 bucks, you know, so it's still pretty expensive. But man, it'd be good to get a playset of those. Those things look great. So hopefully the prices will come down even more. That would be wonderful. Now of course we still got Strixhaven preview things and all this stuff, and yeah, not so good. I mean, the set itself, I'm just kind of ambivalent about. Like, I don't know. These sets feel kind of like soulless and rushed. I mean, literally rushed because like you go from like the entire block, right? So 3 sets, so basically a year on a plane. You get the story sort of spread out or whatever, and you can see stuff happening. But like now it's like you're there. It's like, oh, you're on Kaldheim, and oh, there's Phyrexians, and oh, there's Kaya and stuff or something, and oh, there's Tybalt, and then they're all gone, and it's like everything feels rushed and random. Um, like it's really bad. I'm not a fan of it. Like Kaldheim itself is just like has some cool, interesting stuff. Like, oh, okay, like, all right, an interesting Tybalt card and whatever. But like, obviously, again, it broke like older formats because like apparently they wanted you to cascade into like a 7 mana planeswalker on turn 3. Like, this is somehow okay. It's like, oh, have to do the bare minimum amount of work, play some cascade cards, and then I get my unbeatable planeswalker. It's like don't even have to play Tron lands or anything. Nope, just easy. So that's stupid. Yeah, I mean everything just feels rushed. Everything feels like kind of a cash grab. But yeah, I mean especially like the quality of stuff. Like in Strixhaven, they've already previewed like a card, but it's like conductor. Like the dude's some stupid name. He's like conductor or whatever, and then like the text of the card. It refers to him as a collector, so it's like it doesn't even work. So it immediately has to have an errata, because like it has to it refers to some other card. Um, collector, conductor. I mean, just really bad. Pretty unfortunate. Pretty unfortunate. Not a fan of that. I mean, like, and the art is just like whatever. Like this mystical archive thing is kind of neat, I guess, or whatever. But like, um, yeah, look at this Faithless Looting. Is like this one is literally the worst art I've ever seen on any Magic card ever. I mean, bar none. This is like literally worse than the Hymn to Turok art that I'm using as the thumbnail for this video. It's literally worse than that. It's literally worse than that. I mean, yeah, this is incredibly bad. Like this is a joke, right? These are supposed to be their interesting frames. It's just this is worse than any of the Secret Lair stuff they had that have just like, because at least those like have pieces that like kind of work and are sort of like coherent, right? They have like one sort of style and they kind of mesh, even though like they might be dumb looking, like the slime Secret Lair. But yeah, this there's a lot of these cards that are just like just meh. I mean, it's just I'm not a huge fan of like all these thousands of different like borders and art styles and stuff. Like I like the different art styles, but it's like if they're just bad like this, they don't mesh with the game. I mean, this is just a joke. Absolutely horrible. I mean, everyone, people brought up like Stasis, but Stasis is like kind of neat in its own way, and it like at least it's like, oh, it's just an abstract painting or whatever. It doesn't look jarring, right? When you look at it, you're like, it's its own thing. It's like whatever, abstract, like who cares? Like I'm not a huge fan of like abstract stuff. Like I mean the style, right? But um, eh, it's whatever. It's kind of neat. It's kind of quaint. And the fact that like it's on probably the most annoying card in the game is just, I mean, it's kind of perfect, right? It just sort of fits, like somehow. It just works. It just works, right? Where this Faithless Looting is like a really strong card, but like then you just have this garbage art, which is just like, I mean, total, again, immersion breaking, right? So, I mean, like, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, that's with a lot of the Strixhaven stuff going on too. It's like just the houses are dumb. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this a little bit, but the houses are dumb. Like the descriptions of the houses are dumb. I mean, some of the promo art is horrendous for this set, like really bad. I mean, just awful, right? So I don't know, like you have like this huge, like varying quality. Like you'll have just like really great stuff, where they're like, oh, on this special edition Goblin Guide, we're gonna have like Mark Zug do the art, and like it's just gonna be like, wow, this looks really great, and all these other cards have these really great special editions, and then you have just like random like stuff that's in the game is just like garbage CGI, and it looks like garbage CGI, and it's yeah, yeah. So not good, very jarring. Just pretty much everything just completely breaks immersion these days, which is unfortunate. Which is unfortunate, you know. Obviously, I play Magic to play Magic, and not like just yeah, not to be taken out by like just these weird like just I mean just cringing. Like everything just makes you cringe, right? So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But on a bright note, we'll end on a bright note. One of the cards in the Mystical Archive that you get in like the set boosters, which is one type of booster that you get, and I can't even tell you the difference. They keep changing shit up so much. I mean, I don't. I mean, again, you got to monetize, right? Like, didn't they say their shareholders they need to double their profits? I mean, obviously, like this is one of the most ridiculous, most like profitable um, just properties in the world just because of how little like resources right it takes to make the cards, not even counting the stuff like Magic Online what they've had for 2 decades, right, that basically costs very little to keep up. Same thing with Arena now too, and then now they have a million more products, so you know they're tapping really heavily into the whales, right, the people with tons of money and want to buy cool neat random stuff or whatever. And yeah, it's really going hard on that. But anyways, Abundant Harvest. This is a Strixhaven Mystical Archive, some number of cards. I think there's 60 of them or whatever in the set boosters, and one of them is this preprint basically because Abundant Harvest is supposed to be in the next Modern Horizons set, which comes out in June, I think, something like that. So we'll sort of yeah, we'll see how that ends up working. But this is a good sign. This is a good sign 'cause this is a good card. This is a powerful card. Um, in a lot of respects, it actually is like Ponder, right? Because a lot of times when you're pondering on turn one, you like keep land, ponder, and then 5 other spells or something. Like say you're playing Delver or whatnot, or even like if you're playing like in Commander, you know, you're like, oh, I got, you know, 2 land and a ponder. It's like, well, shoot, I need to hit my 3rd land drop to play my rocks and or whatever, right? So Abundant Harvest does that pretty well, right? It will always hit a land. Like there's no fail rate, right? It's not like an impulse sort of effect. So that's always good. So like you can choose land, pay a green, get a land. That's awesome. Or you can say non-land, and depending on how your deck is built, and like what kind of cards you're looking for, I mean, this is a very powerful effect. It's pretty unique because this can get like instants and sorceries and enchantments and things like that. That typically, I don't really think you can get. There's not really any tutors, right, on like a mono green card for these card types. So this is very unique, very powerful. It's sort of like something. Like kind of like Green Sun Zenith in a way because it's like not every green deck's going to want to play this card, but there are obviously decks out there that could be built around it or could incorporate it into them. It looks pretty like it might be kind of neat in like lands and legacy because there's almost all the cards that they play are just like pure gas, right? So you're looking at say Life from Loam, of course, Exploration, Valakut Exploration, stuff like that. Pretty strong. I mean, obviously, like even again, depending, like if you hit like a diamond, that might be kind of nice. But I guess that'd be the only one where it's like obviously that's like oh poop. But even then, like hitting a diamond again can be pretty nice, like post board when you're trying to play around stuff like Blood Moon or whatever. Where you can abuse it and then like use the diamond to rotate for like a dark depths or something. I mean, again, this is just purely hypothetical, but even in that instance, you know, it's not even that bad to hit a Mox Diamond, and like obviously getting any of your other non-land cards in lands is very, very good. Yeah, especially because like the only other card you could really play that would do that would be Gamble, and that's, well, obviously a gamble. There's a fail rate on that, so that's pretty bad. Gamble's good if, you know, you just want to get your loam or whatever, but yeah, definitely pretty sweet. A little bit safer than something like Demonic Consultation, which it's sort of modeled after, but also Abundant as well. Sort of kind of a reference smash up of those two cards. It puts the cards on the bottom of your library, so like you never, obviously you never kill yourself. So it's like this weird kind of like hybrid, like sort of tutor thing, sort of like cantrip kind of thing. It can clear cards like off a brainstorm even, right? If you don't have a shuffle effect or whatever. So that's kind of nice. That's kind of neat. It seems like it's got a lot of uses. I think it's a really interesting card. And it's just good that like at least in places like Legacy, you'll be able to have like cards that can give consistency to decks that aren't going to be playing like Brainstorm and Ponder and you know whatever like half the decks in the format do, right? So. Yep. But yeah, that's mostly it. I think that's mostly it what I wanted to talk about. So just some interesting things. I think that they be kind of neat to point out. So yeah, TSR is pretty good. Hopefully don't pay too much for it because like I said, if there is like a secondary print run, although even though it seems unlikely, obviously the price on stuff's gonna drop a lot, so it may not be worth it to pay like what the $10 or something for the packs. So anyways, so that's it for today, guys. So thanks for stopping by and have a nice day.